This is Sports 225. So back in 1995, when we started the old Sports Monday, which is now what you're watching, Sports 225, I remember this time we had the show with this guy from CBS, Mark Grant, and me and him and his wife, and then little daughter Marcy went out to dinner. And now, fast forward, all of these 28 years later, and at the recent Final Four, there's Marcy, a full-grown woman, holding up signs about her dad, who's the director of the Final Four broadcast for CBS. And he, of course, is Mark Grant and joins me now. How are you, my friend?
Lee, it's good to see you. And I can't believe it's been 28 years since we had that dinner, but I guess it has. And it's, a lot has changed over that time.
You think? Well, for one, how old is Marcy Grant now?
She's 39.
Wow.
Yeah.
I remember this little kid, with us at dinner, and that's amazing. And as Gail King says on CBS, she goes, "I'm a grown ass woman," and,
yeah.
And so she is. But you are a grown ass man with now
yes.
Even your jobs keep multiplying. Mark, of course, does football games for CBS, among other things, but that's been the staple. But what an interesting NCAA tournament and Final Four, huh?
Yeah, a lot of people were disappointed that the blue bloods, more traditional blue bloods didn't make it. But we had a lot of new life in the tournament, and it was nice to see that San Diego State Florida Atlantic game was a great game. My first game ever directed in the Final Four. It was a lot of fun, and then on to the championship game. UConn, flexed their muscle and won, but I think it was a really fun Final Four to be a part of.
He mentioned FAU San Diego State, which was the game that was won by Lamont Butler with the shot at the buzzer. And we have some really cool video clips from Mark's side of it in the next segment. Big teaser. That's big time TV right there, Mark. But for you, having four teams in there that you might not have been expecting in your preparation leading up to and trying to familiarize yourself, that had to probably present a little bit more of a homework challenge.
Yeah, it certainly did. I mean, I did the region where Miami won and went to the Final Four, so I was pretty familiar with Miami, but the other three teams I had not seen all year. Sometimes you get lucky and you've done a couple teams, once or twice, and you're familiar with them. But I had to study up on three teams and get to know them very, very well, and really had a short time to prepare for those games. Right? I mean, you do the regional final on a Sunday, you come home on Monday, you leave on Tuesday to go to Houston for the Final Four. Now you got to really cram for the exam and learn three teams, and that's what I did. And it went okay. It was good.
It went okay. Well, with any kind of project like that, you would look back and go, all right, I would have done this a little bit differently or done that a little bit differently. But the important thing is that for the people watching, and more people watch that than practically anything, they just saw a really good broadcast. Yeah,
we had a solid broadcast, but you're right, Lee. I mean, every time I direct a game and I go back and watch it, there are a million things I would have done differently. But sometimes you're in the heat of the moment and you have milliseconds to make decisions on camera shots and what you're going to put on the air. You're listening what the talent is saying. You're thinking about where the ball is on the court at that point. Are they bringing the ball in under the basket? Are they walking the ball up court slowly? And you have all these decisions to make in a short period of time. And so sometimes you make the right decision, and sometimes when you look back on it, you realize you had more time or you shouldn't have taken that shot or whatever. But that's what we do as directors. We don't have the Steven Spielberg mentality where you can just say, cut, let's do it again. Cut, we're gonna one more take. We don't have one more take.
And the other thing too is that the staple of your career has been football, and football in essence is extremely simple in the fact that at the end of every play, they stop and they all line up and they stand there for a while.
Yes.
So you have time to digest between plays and prepare. And then the sportsman that you are, you have some idea what's going to happen, and you follow the ball and the things that go with it. Whereas in basketball, I mean, the wackiest things happen.
Sure. And there'll be times when you take a commercial break, you come out of the break and they bring the ball up and down the court, all the way until it's time for the next commercial break. And so you can't really cut to any shots, or you can't do promos, you can't tell stories or anything like that, because they're just missing shots, and they're making shots, and there's no fouls, there's no turnovers or anything like that. And it's very hard to get into a flow when that goes on. You really you don't like that. So yeah, you're right. Football is easy, it's predictable. They're going to run a play, they're going to stop, they're going to go back and huddle. You can do 3 or 4 replays, you can do a promo, you can do whatever you want to do, but we don't have that luxury in basketball.
No doubt. All right. So a good host probably would have done more of an introduction from the beginning. So let's get out of this segment with the fact that Mark is also in Baton Rouge. And it's luckily today, we're doing this on Wednesday, and I think that it's going to rain a little bit, which will probably keep him off the golf course and get him to do some things he probably needs to do. But you, of course, are an LSU guy. And then in 30 seconds, tell the people your story from starting with Cablevision.
Yeah, so I went to LSU and I majored in broadcast journalism. I graduated in 1981, and a year before that, I started working for the local cable company in Baton Rouge, and they covered city council meetings and school board meetings and high school football and all the things that local cable companies do. I was able to freelance when people came to town to cover LSU sports, like a CBS and NBC and ABC, even an ESPN. Got my chance to work for ESPN, started traveling around the country with them as an associate director, became a director for ESPN. I was there for 11 years, never left Baton Rouge. I always lived here. And 1998, I get an offer to go work for CBS. And so since 1998, I've been a director for CBS Sports, and I've never left Baton Rouge. I'm still here.
And like I said, a lot of football games under his belt. When we get back, we've got some really cool video with audio from Mark directing the game, the semifinal game between FAU and San Diego State. And you'll really enjoy that. He's Mark Grant. I'm Lee Feinswag at Sports 225.
Congratulations, East Baton Rouge. You did it. You topped every big city in the country. You envisioned an ambitious reinvention of our park system. And we, as a community, embarked on a multi-year effort to reimagine our parks and facilities. And all that work didn't go unnoticed. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. BRAC, your #1 park system in the nation.
Back on Sports 225, talking TV with Mark Grant. He's a director for CBS who did his first Final Four this year. And it's significant because you're the first Black guy to do that. And, that's it. I never really, you don't think about behind the camera because we see in front of the camera. But are there many other people who look like you behind the scenes in television?
There aren't as many in sports as there are in entertainment. But we have a few in sports. I replaced Bob Fishman, who directed for 40 years. He directed the Final Four for 40 years. And CBS gave me the opportunity to direct the Final Four. But there hasn't been a person of color to direct any major championship in any sport. Super Bowl, Final Four, NBA championship, all the things that we consider major sports. And so for that reason, I feel very grateful that I got the opportunity. Some would ask, why did it take so long? I don't know why it took so long. I'm just grateful that somebody thought enough of me to give me the opportunity. We have a lot of directors at CBS Sports, a lot of very, very good directors, and they could have asked anybody. But like you said before, I was a football director. I thought of myself as a football director, but I still directed basketball. And somewhere along the way, they looked at the way I direct basketball and decided, you know what, we want that guy to take Bob Fishman's place and direct basketball for many, many years to come. So they asked me, and I'm thankful for that opportunity. And I don't think I got it because I'm Black. I think I got it because I'm great at what I do. And I don't say that with a lot of vanity. It's just a fact. I mean, they're not going to give the Final Four to anybody who's not great at what they do. And so I've just taken it and run with it. I certainly hope it opens doors for other people who look like me, but I'm just very grateful that they chose me. And I all last week, I couldn't believe that I was doing the Final Four. It was like a dream. And, it happened, and I was there, and I get to do it for as long as I want. I think they're going to ask me back next year.
I think they might. Things went well. You should see all the pictures. He sent me, he's got pictures of him, Jim Nance, and pictures of the, all right. All right. So in the semifinal, which is your first game, and it's like, what happens at crunch time is what really matters, right? So we're going to pick up this clip. This is from the broadcast, but you listen to Mark talking to all of the people who are operating cameras mostly at this particular time. And this is right after Florida Atlantic misses its last shot and the ball goes to San Diego State.
It's Greenlee to inbound, 11 to shoot. It's to Martin. Playing it out.
Let me see the bench, 7.
Tonight. Giving it back to Davis with 5 to shoot. Taken on a rope, and it's blocked.
Here we go. Let's go, guys. Let's go. Let's go.
They don't have the scorers on the floor. It's Butler with 2 seconds. He's got to put it up.
Oh, my God. Ready 5. Take 5. Ready camera 4. Take 4. Ready camera 3. 6. Take 6. Ready camera 2. Take 2. Ready 5. Take 5. Ready 16. Take 16. Ready camera 12. Take 12. Ready camera 2. Take 2. Ready camera 15. Take 15. Let me see some bummage, guys. Ready camera 6. Take 6. Ready camera 29. Take 29.
The last time there was
ready 2. Take 2. I'm coming. I'm coming. Ready X. Wipe X.
At the same end of the floor, there was a guy named
Stay there, 3.
Who made the shot. The
ready Mo.
Went off as the shot was in the air.
It's clear. It's clear there. You see.
Look at this.
Ready Mo. Romo dissolve Mo. What's next?
7 years later.
How cool was that? So your mind must have been going a million miles an hour. It was cool the way you got excited. Like you realized what a big moment it was when he hit the shot.
Yeah, I direct with a lot of passion, and I want to get excited, and I hope that my crew gets. I get excited, and I want my crew to get excited as well. That was a great scene, a great moment, and again, it was my first Final Four, it's my first game ever directed to Final Four, and that happens. And yeah, I mean, even if that had been a regular season game, it's still exciting anytime someone hits a shot at the buzzer. Now, that shot was to win the game. A lot of times, people are. They hit shots to tie the game. They hit shots to they miss the shot and they lose the game. But that shot was to win the game, and it hasn't happened in a long time in the NCAA. So it was a lot of fun. It was great to be there, and I just I'll never forget it. It was great.
What was cool was when they broke down the floor afterwards. You can hear you imploring and reminding everybody. All right, people. This you were without saying it. You were saying this is a really big moment. Everybody be on their game. Because they're beholden to you at that point.
Sure. And you know what? Honestly, I was probably talking to myself too, right? I was making sure that I didn't do anything stupid at that point. And so, I was talking to them, but I was also reminding myself to kind of stay in the moment.
Okay. So after that, we cut away, there's celebration shots, lots of different things going on. And then you go to Tracy Wolfson interviewing the San Diego State coach and Lamont Butler, who hit the shot. And it was interesting too. You people won't hear this, but you'll pick it up during the interview. And he's like, "Where's Tracy? What's going on with that?" All right, so let's go to that clip.
Ready, camera 29. Take 29.
Lamont Butler, the hero tonight. Take us through that final
ready 5.
shot. Coach decided not to call the timeout.
Ready 5.
What was the plan there?
The plan
insert your 5.
just to get downhill.
Ready? You gonna show the shot? Ready? Lose it. Ready X? Wipe to X.
So I got to a shot that I'm comfortable
roll it.
with, and I hit it.
Okay.
I'm happy.
Ready,
That's
green.
So good. You deserve a little Gatorade
Ready, green.
there,
Ready,
but
green.
When that ball went through the net, what was going
Roll green,
through
dissolve
your mind?
green.
You're playing for a national
Roll it green.
championship on Monday night.
It's unbelievable. It's what I came here to do.
Ready, orange.
I'm glad the
Orange,
shot
roll
went
orange.
in.
I didn't know we had an orange.
For my
Roll it.
team right now.
Ready out to camera
What was your
29.
decision not
Wipe to
call the
29.
timeout and putting it in
Oh,
the
I'm back
hands
out.
of your players? You took
So while Tracy's interviewing those people, are you actually listening to them or trying to pay attention? Or are you more concerned with all the other shots that are going on? Because you had like we would normally call it B-roll, but it was live B-roll over their interview.
Yeah, the answer is both. I know we have to get off the air in a few moments, but I also want to listen to the interview to know when I can cut out of the interview to some of those live shots that if you wait to show those shots, you're going to miss the moment, right? And so sometimes you interrupt the interview with some of the celebration. And in an ideal world, you would have the winners and the losers, but by that point, Florida Atlantic has left the court, so you only show the winners celebrating. And so, yeah, you're trying to listen to the interview and cut the shots. But I know in a few moments when that interview is done, we're going to get off the air, and we're trying to line up all of our replays to roll off the air. And I'm just trying to get the traffic as to which machine we're going to go to first and second and third and fourth and all that. And how many credits we have to put in and all. So
yeah, well, let me get to that. Yeah, because from there, we fast forward out of that. There's still a lot of highlights, a lot of anguish shots from Florida Atlantic people. And then here's the close to the broadcast.
Keep working, guys. Ready, camera 9, take 9. Ready, 6, take 6. Where are we going? What machine? Live?
Capital One Tournament
Change, insert your 5. Change it. Ready, undercut 4. Undercut 4. Change it. Ready, undercut 6. Undercut 6. Ready, undercut 2. 12. Undercut 12. Ready, dissolve Mo. Row Mo. Dissolve under Mo. 9, 8. Step out of change it. Ready to score. And cross to the score. Where? 2, 1. Nice. Oh my God.
One thing that I thought was really cool about that last one is that I think it was like almost an afterthought, but you were like, holy crap, don't forget the score. Don't forget to put the score up, which is like sports writer writing a story and forgetting the score. But it finished up really smoothly, didn't it? You had to be real happy with that last 30 seconds.
Yeah, it was great. It was a great way to get off the air. I only wish that we had a little bit more of the bummage shot, the dejection shot in there. That would have been great to do that, but we didn't get that. But I think it was really nice the way we finished and the reaction shots of everybody. It was just really, really good.
All right, let's take this break. When we get back, we'll talk more with Mark Grant from CBS, a little Final Four stuff and other things. I'm Lee Feinsogg at Sports 225.
Congratulations, East Baton Rouge. You did it. You topped every big city in the country. You envisioned an ambitious reinvention of our park system. And we, as a community, embarked on a multi-year effort to reimagine our parks and facilities. And all that work didn't go unnoticed. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. BRAC, your #1 park system in the nation.
Back on Sports 225 with Mark Grant. If you missed the previous segment with all of the behind the scenes video, you missed it. So you better look and see when the replays are. So Mark, do I have it right? Were there 29 cameras?
You have it wrong. There were 51 cameras.
No way.
Yeah, there were 51 cameras all told. Not counting all the cameras in the tunnels and then by the locker rooms and when the bus arrives and all that. We had 51 cameras for the show.
So in the actual arena for the game, I assume there are X number of fixed cameras, not being operated by camera operators, like maybe the ones above a basket or, with a wide view or this or that. Yeah. But how many human beings were beholden to you and were you visiting with during that time?
29.
That's 29. Come on, see, do I get bonus points for getting the 29 number right?
Yes, I'll give you half credit for that. That's good.
This was a significant men's basketball Final Four for a number of reasons. Number one is 3 new teams, even though UConn, the so-called blue blood, won again. Jim Nance's Final Four. By the way, are you sick of Masters promos? Do you just want to hang yourself when you can watch the Masters after that?
No, it's just a constant reminder of what I was doing after the Final Four. I got on a charter flight and went to Augusta for the Masters. So
did you work it?
I did. Yeah, I did.
What was your job there?
So there's a show in the morning called Masters on the Range. It runs on CBS Sports Network, and I direct that show. And then we have a lot of specialty coverage at the Masters. If you want to watch Amen Corner, you want to watch 15, 16, you want to watch 4, 5, 6 or feature group. There are directors who direct all those things. And I relieve those directors throughout the day. So I do my show in the morning and I relieve all the other directors. And I get out of there pretty early. Like I probably get out of there like an hour before the golf ends. So so I'm out of there. I beat all the traffic and all that kind of stuff. So it's pretty cool. It's a pretty good thing.
And our friend Scott Rabelais covers that every year. He says I sent him a note saying, I hope you're having fun at the Masters. And he wrote back kind of in a Christmassy way. It's the most wonderful time of the year.
He feels that way. And, he's done something I haven't done. He played the Masters course. He got to play it I think it was last year, year before.
The Monday lottery. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's good for him. He's He's a good guy and a good friend of mine, and I know he loves going there every year. I've taken him into the TV compound there, and he's seen it all, and it's a sight to see for sure.
To this day, it's something that Brenda, my wife, remembers you doing with her one time, and my son, when he was a little boy, you doing it with him. I remember at the College World Series, I want to say, one year. It's very impactful for people to go into the truck and see all of the stuff. And it's, when I say truck, it's like going into the mansion on wheels to see what everything you got, right? How many monitors you got?
In that truck I was in for the Final Four, I think we had 126 monitors or something like that. Yeah. And they all have something different. I don't have to look at all of them, right? The producer's looking at some, the technical director's looking at some. So I don't have to look at all. I got to look at those 50 something monitors, or, and maybe, 15 more counting all the replays and stuff, but it's a lot to look at. And when you walk in a truck as a lay person, it can be very, very intimidating. And people always ask, how do you do it? And my answer is always the same. If I don't do it, they'll find somebody else who will.
It's like learning a foreign language, and you learn it, and there you go.
There you go.
But again, it wasn't like he just jumped into it, like we talked about earlier. There's been a logical progression. So let me ask you this, because I'm always curious about it. We talked a little bit before we got on the air. Going back to the 3 games, the 2 semifinals and the final, what do you think about in retrospect, going, oh, that we were horrible at that, or I really missed a great shot, or I blew it? I know there's got to be 1 or 2 that got you.
Yeah, well, the first game is easier. It's easier because you have all day to get ready for the game. You can plan your shots and all that. But the second game happens about 40 minutes after the first game. And not only, do you have to deal with, getting warm-up shots of players, and you got to feed shots for the studio shows and all that, but you got to give the crew a break. And so you want them to get their break. I need to take a break. I got to go to the bathroom. I'm 63. I got to go to the bathroom. And so you only have a few minutes to capture all the stuff you have to do. When we do our open, who we're going to talk about in the open, you got to get a shot of those guys warming up and all that. And so that second show is so much more collapsed, and you just don't want to miss anything. The first show is easy. Now, granted, the first show is my first Final Four game. And so I was very, very nervous and excited and confident. I just hope that the confidence and the excitement outweighed the nervousness, and I think it did.
All right, we'll take this last break. We only got a little bit of time left, and who knows, we both might have to go to the bathroom. I'm Lee on Sports 225.
Congratulations, East Baton Rouge. You did it. You topped every big city in the country. You envisioned an ambitious reinvention of our park system. And we, as a community, embarked on a multi-year effort to reimagine our parks and facilities. And all that work didn't go unnoticed. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. BRAC, your #1 park system in the nation.
Just about a minute left with Mark Grant from CBS. Go to sports225.com to see when all the show listings are for what you're watching here on Your View, which is Cox 4. Mark joked with me earlier, the lecturing to a class at NCA&T, and they asked you your favorite thing about it.
Travel.
And the worst thing about it?
Travel.
And you're home now for a while, right? What's up next for you?
Yeah. Well, in the immediate future, it's going to be a lot of golf and a lot of fishing. But the next time I have to go to work, I'll do a few surveys this summer for the basketball surveys for different arenas and all that. I'll do a survey for the Final Four, but I really don't go back to work directing until I do the Saints preseason games in August. I'll do them, and that gets me ramped up for the NFL.
Full slate of NFL games.
Yeah.
A man who has more than earned his Delta 360 status, where he flies on an airplane, and the rest of us get off. He goes down to the tarmac to a limousine. That's what you deserve. It's
amazing what 4.6 million miles it gets you these days.
Oh my gosh, Mark Grant. So great to catch up. We'll talk soon. Thank you for watching Sports 225. Bye.
At carnival time by Baton Rouge Bay, That's the side of my story. At Spanish Town Mardi Gras, things can get blurry. See the mowers marching, prizes fill the sky.